So I am new to this, but I have been really appreciating watching videos of other people sharing their stories. And I've never been one of much of a public speaker, and now I picture that I might be talking to a big audience, since breast cancer is unfortunately really common. But I didn't see a ton of videos, and so I thought I'd record my story and record what I'm gonna try, what I'm doing, what's working, what's not, because it's been really helpful to me to watch other people's stories and read other women's stories about it. First about hysterectomies, because I had one of those about 4 months ago now, and I'm coming up on the 6-week mark for mastectomy. That was my most recent surgery. Just had a really fun 4 months. So I am going to try to keep it light. I kind of worried that one day, if things didn't go well, this is something that my boys would watch, and it was a chance to tell them how much I couldn't even imagine loving 2 people more. And I was going to keep this light, because obviously that's not going to be the outcome. It's going to be about what works. But they might watch it anyway. And yeah, I won't do it as a what if, but I have the most incredible boys. They are absolutely so spirited and fun, and have both of them hearts of gold. I'm just so proud, and I never ever imagined I could love anybody more. And for a minute it scared me that this could be that video that they watch if I don't beat this. But I will beat this. I will beat this for them, because you guys are incredible. And so this won't be that. This won't be something to watch when Mom loses her battle, because I'm going to win this battle. I am going to kick cancer's ass for you guys, and for my incredible husband, and for my mom and my stepdad and my sister and all the people that are supporting me. I've got incredible friends and family, and I am so lucky. And you wouldn't think it, because I'm getting all choked up. I've been very emotional, because apparently I am, I went into surgically induced menopause 2 days after my mastectomy, and it is kind of like being pregnant again. I am really emotional and a little bit irritable, having these hot flashes that I'm not getting much sleep, because I wake up in the night with a hot flash sometimes, and so I have to get up now a few times a night to go pee, and each time I wake up, hot flash. Apparently it goes with waking up. Something I didn't know. I didn't know if the hot flashes were waking me up, or like, you know, chicken or the egg thing, whether I was just waking up and having them. But yeah, you get to have a hot flash every time you wake up once you're in menopause. So that's fantastic. And I have trouble once I'm up for a little bit to get back to sleep. So I'm running on not much sleep, but sometimes that's when I think the fastest. Since I am bipolar, it sometimes trips me into a little bit of a mania. And so I'll try to slow it down, because I've been told that when I'm a little bit manic, I can talk really fast. So I'm trying to slow it down, and I actually wrote out my story, since I'm not one to just, well, I can ramble on and on, but it wouldn't be very focused and concise. And so I'm not gonna go on and on about it. I'm just gonna look at my notes and just see if that works. So I'm skipping ahead, because I already kind of told a lot of this, and I'm not going to edit them. If I do this, if I start keeping a journal of how things are going, this is just going to be like where I'm at today. I'm never going to do it if I have to fix myself up for one thing. This is how I am. I'm not going to do my hair and makeup every time, or by the time I do that, if I have the kids busy with something, my time's going to run out. Because I've tried a few times. I was trying to record a little bit of some of the things I'm doing, like juicing. Not the greatest at making some concoctions at first. Like, there's certain things like cabbage, just don't bother. It tastes horrible no matter what you put with it. But I'm getting pretty good at it. Carrot, celery, and apple is the way to go for a really good one for any woman fighting breast cancer. It's kind of a sweeter juice. And if you start adding things like cabbage and broccoli and some of the other things that maybe you feel like you should be eating more of, it wrecks it, and then it's harder to get down and you're less likely to do it. But anyway, so it seems that every time I get a bit of good news, like the mammogram that seemed first to say the lumps were nothing, but please proceed to the ultrasound room just in case. Small chance, but there might be something wrong. And then back to the mammogram room, because indeed there was something looking odd about the lumps. And all in that moment, my world forever changed. And you just don't go back to before that. And I don't know if I ever will. I know someday I am going to hopefully beat this and I'll be completely cancer-free. And I may be now. I just got the results of the lymph nodes. They took 4 lymph nodes just in case, and they came back negative. So I didn't have cancer in my lymph nodes. So hopefully it was all in the breast and hadn't spread, because you're in a lot more trouble if it spreads. But I just found out that even if they've got it all, even if I am completely cancer-free, I may still need to do some chemo or radiation. And that was kind of realized I'm never going to be 100% through this, no matter how long. Hopefully I can say like, now I'm 5 years clear, now I'm 10 years clear, and I can do all that. But it's always going to be that thing, looking over your shoulder, making sure, I guess, that I try to eat healthy and do all the things that I should do to stay healthy, which are good habits anyway, like juicing and stuff. But I also don't want to live in complete fear. I want to be able to, let's say, have the odd dessert. That's something I've been doing again, is having a little bit of sugar, having some dessert with the kids once in a while, or tasting, you know, when they say, try this candy. And for a while I was really strictly on my anti-cancer diet, and because I read sugar is one of the biggest things that you give up sugar immediately if you're fighting cancer, if you can, because some of the things I'm doing are controversial, or some are like, oh, maybe they work, maybe they don't, but that's one of the things that seems to be pretty, everybody kind of agrees on, is if you can give up sugar. So I'm trying to enjoy life a little bit, not that sugar is like the way to enjoy life. I'm not like boozing it up again or anything. That was one way that I once in a while like to have some drinks, and my husband and I would jam and stay up too late, maybe eat some naughty foods, just, you know, all those things. I'm hoping that those can be done again someday in moderation without feeling completely guilty about them. But anyway, so back to the story. So I am rambling a little bit. And I gotta just check on the kiddos one moment. And I picked a really like creaky chair here, so that's maybe not the best. So maybe I'll swap out the chair, just check on the kiddos, and then finish this. So I still have the creaky chair, but the kids are good, and I'm probably running out of time, so I'm just gonna finish this. About my story, kind of where I'm at. So yeah, then they sent me back to the mammogram room because something's looking odd and wanted to do it again. And then I had to wait for my biopsy results while healing from my hysterectomy. That was something that was already booked, and thankfully I saw these lumps in time, because we weren't going to, she wasn't going to take the ovaries. Said if I could, you know, it's a good idea to keep them. They keep you young, and they keep you from going into menopause and all these things that, anyway, thank God, my incredible doctor, who I had the best doctor. I don't know, I just couldn't have been any luckier. She met me, and I had no idea how important that was, met me going in the pre-surgery room, and asked me how I was, greeted me. I said I didn't sleep very good last night. She said, that's okay, I did. And immediately she had this energy that just put me at ease. I found out how it can go the other way when I had an hour in the pre-surgery room where I was all alone. I didn't know my husband could have come in there with me. So anyone that's heading in for surgery, keep your husband for the pre-surgery room, and because you can't keep your phone, so you have no distractions. And all of a sudden, I just fell apart. I sat there and I held it together for probably 15-20 minutes. I don't know, because I didn't have my phone. It seemed like a long time until it just, like, holy crap, like they're taking my breast now. Like, I don't know why it didn't seem as big a deal to lose my uterus and ovaries. Maybe because they're on the inside too, that I wasn't gonna see it, and I wasn't gonna have the scariest part of this all. I wasn't a fan of the drain. This drain coming out my chest that it's like a tube, and then it collects the blood, and you have to empty it twice a day, which my amazing husband did for me, with me every day saying, tomorrow I'll probably be a little tougher and you won't need to do this, but thank you so much. And he realized on about the 4th day I was still, something about when he'd pour it, like pouring the blood from the little bulb thing at the end of the drain into the container to measure it, because you have to get below a certain amount of blood daily, and then you can call home care, get your drain removed. And it usually takes a week or two. I believe it was 8 or 9 days. I should know that, but it was on a lot of painkillers. I think I liked my hydromorphine just as much to deal with like, I'm squeamish about things, so having like a tube coming out of me was pretty pretty crazy. And he would hum and he'd run the water and he'd make sounds so that when he was pouring it, that I wouldn't hear that blood being poured. Because for some reason I was actually pretty good after a while at doing the thing called milking the drain, where you push the blood down towards the bulb so it pulls more out of the chest cavity and keeps that suction thing going. And this all sounds probably really crazy for somebody that hasn't had their surgery. For any women watching this that are going into the surgery, I hope I'm not making this scary, because it's weird. Somehow you kind of get used to it. I'd keep mine like clipped to my bra, or you can clip it to your shirt or something. I was most scared of, we have these 2 puppies, these wonderful, not really puppies because they're full grown, just over a year, but a couple rescue dogs. They were being fostered separately. We got to see them at an adoption event, and they were just so happy to see each other. And I asked, like, what about these 2? Because we knew we wanted to adopt a couple dogs that wanted to stay together. Didn't have to be relatives, but at a shelter or whatever. And these 2 were just all over each other, like playing and kissing each other. And I said, were these 2 being fostered together? And they said, no, actually they're gonna go home tonight to their separate foster parents or whatever, and probably never see each other again. And I hoped in that minute that Todd would say yes, and he was actually probably the one that was more so than me, thinking we were ready to take on a couple dogs, which the kids had been asking for a few years. But so much going on. Me having some health troubles, which warranted this hysterectomy that I already had booked before finding out about cancer. And all of that almost seems like nothing now, although it was pretty major. And maybe I'll do a separate video, since this one's already kind of long and rambling, about that. As kind of a warning, like, don't go into endometrial ablation lightly, because it can go really wrong. I'm apparently the case of maybe it gone the most wrong in all of Canada. But once I had it and things went wrong, you start reading. I wish I would have done it before the surgery, because all they needed to do is take a look, and it was kind of an add-on. Like, if you want to be done, with your periods, you're done having kids, we're gonna look anyway, because your uterus didn't go back to the right size or shape, and something might not be right, so we're gonna look anyway, and do you want this ablation thing? And I said, what could go wrong? And he said, nothing, it just might not work. Not the case. Anyway, I guess I'm telling that story now, but I basically had scar tissue blocking my cervix, but it didn't work to do anything to the lining of my uterus, so I was still getting cycles, but they couldn't get out. So that was pretty uncomfortable. My body would have contractions instead of regular like period cramps, like full out contractions regularly, trying to fix this. My doctor said my body was going into false labor regularly, trying to clear my uterus. And anyway, back to what's like the problem it had, because now that's fixed, because of this amazing doctor who just did a radical hysterectomy, and I am so grateful. I was a few days after, I was so relieved. If you're having problems, a hysterectomy is actually not that big a deal. It was still a big deal, but I felt so good almost immediately because I was having such horrifically painful problems before that I was able to ditch all my pain medicine pretty quickly. I was used to being in a fair amount of pain, and I would say that I felt better probably even just a few days after the hysterectomy than I had in a while. I was just, I was pretty happy to let my uterus go, even though I tried to put that surgery off for a while. But anyway, I also have this uncanny way of healing. My neurologist used to say I was an anomaly since I'm not having seizures, though my brain scans show me to be very much epileptic, both in the frontal and temporal lobes. And he used to say epilepsy can't be cured and you can't cure yourself of it, and eventually I'd need back on medication. But I think I've made a record now he said nobody has cleared 10 years with my kind of epilepsy. And I remember him saying that it comes back with a vengeance, kind of like when cancer comes out of remission, it can sometimes come back with a vengeance. And I had this weird moment that now I know why, that stuck with me in this weird light bulb memory kind of way. And now I think I know why, because I would look back on that and just that line, that's what I'm the most scared of. I think, I don't know yet, but I think I've beaten it. I might need some chemo or radiation yet, but I'm trying to believe I've beaten it, because they say the power of positive thoughts and belief is really important, and I'm not very good at that part yet, but I'm working on it. And with every fiber of my being, I'm working on it with the, on the positive belief part, instead of what ifing all the time. Like, what if, anyway, the what ifs, that's not a fun path to go down. It's better to I should just, what if I beat this? Because I will. And I've got a little bit of obstacles or hurdles, or what do you call it? Some chemo or radiation or whatever is ahead of me. I've got some big decisions, because I'm also doing some things that, like apricot kernel seeds that release, if I have it right, release cyanide in your body, or it creates like a cyanide in your body that targets the cancer cells, according to one side. The other side says don't do it, you're going to poison yourself, and apparently few people have that have done too many apricot kernel seeds. So I have my 1 to 3 seeds daily. That's what I've been doing, kind of on and off, very nervously. Obviously I don't want to poison myself, but I feel like the side that's saying eat apricot kernels, there's people putting it out there that there's not a lot in it for them to put that out there, to say I know people that have beat it, and that's the main thing they did. But there's a lot on the other side. There's a lot of, big companies making a lot of money off of, cancer treatments and stuff. And if it was as simple as apricot kernel seeds, there wouldn't be quite so many customers for some of those medications and things. So I look at the motivation behind each side's videos and kind of think, well, maybe I should do some apricot kernel seeds, but I'm nervous, and I haven't been able to. I don't get to talk to a doctor until mid-August, about a month from now. And you don't get to talk to the dietitian, anyone, until you first get that initial consult with the chemo doctor, and then the next day the radiation doctor. and then I guess I can get into the dietitian and find out a little bit more about, you know, some of these other things and what they think and whether I should be having apricot kernel seeds or some of the other things. And I listed them, and I was going to go through some of the things that I'm doing and so forth, but this has already been a pretty long, rambling first video. So my phone just stopped. It was full. It's always full, and I'm always having trouble uploading it and clearing it. But I had all these notes I worked really hard on, and I didn't read any of them. But I feel like that was a long enough starting video to kind of just give an idea of like what I'm going through and what I'm doing. Just kind of an overview of like, so I'm doing the anti-cancer diet and juicing and some supplements that I'll maybe do a separate video about supplements. I'm trying to learn everything I can to just do the most I can, to feel like I've done my due diligence, and then I have to leave the rest to God. And I just hope He hears my prayers that I absolutely need to make it to a really old age to help my kids with their kids, hopefully, the way my mom has helped me so much. My dad's not around. I could do a whole video about my amazing dad, who's like a legend. But anyway, I need to make it probably till at least my 90s in pretty good shape if I'm gonna help with their kids, because I had them pretty late. I'm a pretty old mom compared to most of the other moms. I'm the same age as some of the grandmas. Like, anyway, now looking back, don't wait really late. Don't wait till you're like 40 or early 40s to have kids. Have them in your 30s, because then you'll feel a little less scared that, oh my God, I've got to be in phenomenal shape in my 90s if I'm going to help, you know, babysit and everything the way that my mom has helped me. Anyway, this is going to stop again. I offloaded a few things to make some room to just finish this up and say that I'm just going to do these regularly and let anyone out there that wants, you know, that's going through the same kind of thing. I'm just trying to pay it forward, because thank you to the people that have also been doing this, all the other women that are putting out videos on what they're doing or their stories. It has helped me immensely. So it stopped again as I was trying to sum up, but I kind of still was rambling on. And so I offloaded a few more things, and I probably have just like one last minute to just say thank you so much to the people that are putting these videos out with their stories, because it's been really helping me, both after my hysterectomy and after the mastectomy, and just stories of people fighting cancer in general and what they're doing. Thank you for sharing those, and I hope I did okay with sharing my story, and I'm going to keep doing these videos of what, I'm not going to say what's not working, because these things are going to work. I'm going to share what I'm doing that's working, and anyway, that's it for now. So thanks for listening.